There's the San Jose Sharks that we know and love.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making the Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network, the #1 sports podcast network, where we cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. And tonight we're breaking down the Sharks 4-1 Seattle Kraken loss. We're going to be talking about defensive miscues, controversial no goals, John Klingberg, bro. But also going to be looking at positive signs as the Sharks actually did a lot of good stuff in this game and just weren't rewarded for their efforts. So let's get started by, I think we have to start with the biggest thing from this game, and that was the Will Smith goal that wasn't a goal. And extremely frustrating because Will Smith, great defensive play, springs open, a breakaway, nifty moves, misses and then he's just trying to stop. And as he is stopping, he's dragging his foot. It hits pulls Philip Grubauer's pads into the goal, and the puck squirts in. Should be a goal as the actual net is coming off. So a lot of stuff to break down in this, but it's just frustrating where like the call of a kicking motion, because it felt like the refs were just trying to figure out a reason to not call it a goal. Right. And the fact that it was called a no goal on the ice really hurt the chances of this goal actually happening. But Will Smith, like the kicking motion, I just didn't see the kicking motion. And yes, I'm 100% wearing teal colored glasses here, but it's just frustrating because the way the Kraken scored their very first goal was Jaden Schwartz driving to the net, and his feet are like, the puck goes off his feet as he is directing his feet towards the net, and that's okay. But this is just frustrating. And again, I try not to be a complaint about the refs guy, but this was super frustrating. And you saw right after that, right, where then the Sharks unravel and defensive miscues, where just bad plays by the defense leads to 2 goals in 38 seconds, right? Nick Leddy screening his own goalie. Not a good look. And then Shakir Mukhamadullin, bad pinch, and that leads to a 2-on-1, and poor Nedeljkovic, is just hung out to dry there. And that was the game, right? That 5-minute period where the Sharks, and it's something we've harped on several times this season, right? This 5-minute period where just things go horribly wrong for the Sharks, right? You had a no goal by Will Smith, followed by the Sharks getting hemmed in their own zone, and they can't get it cleared out. And then, the Kraken score, followed by literally the next shift where you're great offensive pressure. Mukhamadullin pinches at a bad time, and then all of a sudden it's a 2-on-1 the other way, 3-1, game over there. Like, as well as the Sharks played, there was a lot of positive signs, but just as well as the Sharks played, it felt like getting to 3 was going to be tough for them, just how they were not getting they were getting opportunities but just unable to take advantage of them, right? Let's think about the Kurashev goal, the double bounce off early in the game, right, where you could have come out, set a tone, et cetera, and just wasn't the Sharks' night tonight, unfortunately. So and I'm not even going to talk about all the missed cross checks on Toffoli, et cetera. We're just tough night where just things didn't break the Sharks' way, and times and anytime things that went wrong went catastrophically wrong for San Jose tonight. And I think that's the best way to put it, where you did a lot of positive things, but every time you made a mistake, it just ended up in the back of your net. And I think right now, like the guy who's, unfortunately taking kind of the brunt of it is John Klingberg, who had another poor night tonight, right? You think about the first goal. Where he gets walked / falls down as Chandler Stevenson, Chandler Stevenson, vet, etc., like good player. But right, he just gets past John Klingberg, who takes a bad angle, gets walked, and then falls down. It was a trifecta there from Klingberg, as then gets the puck over to Schwartz, who's crashing the net, right? Great goal by there. But that's one of those where like Klingberg's kind of chasing in that scenario. He's probably better just to be a little bit more conservative and just kind of try to match Stevenson, and instead of just taking this horrible angle there, and right, that just goes wrong. We saw on the power play where, yes, the power play scored tonight, but like Klingberg just not crisp on the power play, fumbles a drop pass, which leads to a breakaway that, Nedeljkovic is able to save there. Just not clean hockey from Klingberg. And right, Klingberg was brought here. We know the defense from Klingberg is not strong. That's not why he was brought to San Jose. He was brought to San Jose to help drive offense. But when you're not doing that, and the defense is also bad, like if Klingberg was driving offense, right, and he, was putting up assists and the power play was humming along, like I can live with the defensive miscues from Klingberg, right? Erik Karlsson, prime example, right? I mean, Erik Karlsson, not the greatest defender, but he drove offense and he scored and he did a lot of other things. We're just not getting that from Klingberg. And at some point, the issues with this team, a lot of them are coming from the veterans. And you have offensive-minded defensemen, Sam Dickinson, Liljegren, Mukhamadullin. Like you have other guys who can, and even Orlov, right? Orlov at the beginning of the season was running the power play, and he knew his job, right? My job is to keep the puck moving, get it to these dynamic forwards, and let them do their work. And the power play worked really well. Right now, it's just not working. And I asked after the Calgary game, right? Who's going to be held accountable? We saw the moves tonight, right? And some of them worked, some of them didn't, but I know John Klingberg is a longtime vet. It's clearly not working. And I think the Sharks would be better suited to realize this sooner rather than later with John Klingberg. And, I'm not saying like they need to cut him or, whatever, like there's nothing you can do there, right? But you can reduce his role. You can give other guys opportunities, right? Whether it's Dickinson, whether it's Liljegren, whether just going back to Orlov, where we have proof of concept. It worked beginning of the season. Orlov in the Sharks power play, which was ranked top 10 for the first chunk of the season, has now fallen out of the top 20. Or it's probably, I think it was 19th entering this game, right? No coincidence when Klingberg came back, and now the power play is just not as smooth. And especially for a Sharks team that needs to take advantage of every opportunity it can get, having this power play be substandard is a big reason why the Sharks offense has not been able to produce the same amount of production it has compared to the early part of the season. And what's the big change? All right, you put John Klingberg on there, and things just have not been the same. So I 100% I get the signing. I like the signing at the time, but it's clearly not working. And I think Warsofsky needs to be aggressive here in making a change and embracing somebody else. Again, even if it just goes back to Orlov, who, right? He's just gonna make sure the puck's moving. Fine. But Klingberg has been a mess, and the Sharks they're not talented enough to overcome these mistakes. So, yes, let's end that part there. So there was a lot of positive signs tonight, and we're going to talk about that because, again, this team is still growing and developing and stuff. So there was a lot of positive signs against a solid defensive group like the Kraken, and, much better performance than what we saw against the Flames. So we're going to talk about that. We'll also dig into the numbers of this game here in just 1 second. Let's be honest, most of us can't even name all of our financial accounts, let alone what we're worth. Between 401ks, savings, investments, it's easy to lose track, and that can mean leaving money on the table. That's why you started using Monarch. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch's great because you can review everything with your partner, see your shared goals, and also make better financial decisions together while still keeping your money your money. Monarch's visual dashboards and smart tools make it so much easier to understand where your money's going and how to make it work harder for you. It's like your own personal Puckpedia, people. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarch.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarch.com, code LOCKEDONNHL for half off your first year. All right, before we continue, of course want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Again, proudly part of the Locked On Network, the #1 sports podcast network. If you haven't, perfect time to subscribe, as we'll be doing reviews after every game. We have CUDA stuff coming up. I really working on trying to have someone come on. We're going to talk, hopefully talk some CUDA stuff this week. We have interviews. We just had Zach Sharp last week. We got another one we're getting on the books here as well. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get where you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. All right. As bad as those 5 minutes were, right? You did see a lot of positive things from San Jose tonight. And again, the bar was extremely low after the Flames game. Really low for the Sharks. Call James Cameron. He has to pull the bar out of the Mariana Trench low. But anyway, positive signs. I like the way the Sharks started, right? And you knew that they were probably going to try to get off to a good start, especially after the Flames game. And the Sharks did get off to a good start, right? And Khrushchev with, Gaudette, great, opportunity right off the bat. Khrushchev with a double, post bounce. And the Sharks did a much better job tonight of controlling the pace, controlling the game at times. And they just weren't rewarded for their efforts, unfortunately. But that's okay. Again, part of the bigger, trust the process over results. And tonight, I think, was a process-oriented game for San Jose. This is one of those where if you keep playing this way, you're going to start to see the results come. And we saw this happen the last time before the Sharks kind of went on their winning streak, right? We had games like the Pittsburgh game, right, where you got shut out in that game, but you played really well in that game and you just got unlucky. And some of the other games following that, right, where you played really well and you just didn't get the results in your favor. I think tonight is one of those, you played pretty well against a team that, again, I'm not super sold on Seattle, but you got I think you're well on your way, right? You go back to that Pittsburgh, you get shut out 3-0, but you played really well that game. Islanders, you were able to create a bunch of offense, but you had the 5 minutes again, same thing, right? Where just the miscues, and you couldn't get a save when you needed one. And then all of a sudden, right, you win you get your first one against the Rangers. You play a really good game against Minnesota, and then things start to kind of build from there. So the hope is here, especially coming home, this is a nice springboard game, where you can build on it and use this game to kind of get yourself back on track. And I'm not expecting the Sharks to go on, a 7-game streak of getting points. Like, that was really fun, but trying to be realistic here. But I really liked, not only the start, but I really liked the Sharks' second period in this game. And yes, it was a little weird because there was a lot of, kind of power play opportunities in this game for both teams. But the Sharks in the second period, I thought, did a much better job of controlling the pace and, getting their game going, with the exception, again, that 5 minutes where everything went wrong. But shot attempts in the second period, 19 to 16, and about 14 and a half minutes there, 12 to 8 actual shots. So while the shot attempts were close, the Sharks were getting more shots on goal. Scoring chances in that period, 10 to 7, 6 to 4 high danger chances for San Jose in that second period, 1.31 to 0.86 expected goals for San Jose. But again, 2 crucial mistakes by the Sharks. And really quick on the crucial mistakes, like, I know I just, Klingberg, just talked about him. Mukhamadullin, like, yes, I know you're a young player, but you just got in and out of the lineup. Like, you've been in and out, yo-yoing in and out of the lineup there. Like, you can't make that play. I get you're pushing for offense, right? You're trying to make a response after the Kraken just scored, but tough play there for my guy Mukhamadullin, who I love Mukhamadullin, but tough play for my guy Mukhamadullin there. So, but like I said, the second period, I thought the Sharks really came out, and especially the beginning of it, right? They score a goal late in the first period to tie things up. They came out and they set the tone early in the second period as well, getting to the net, getting quality shots, and making the most of their opportunities here. And I think if you continue to do that, and you cut down the defensive miscues, or if you're going to have the defensive miscues, let it be a young player, right? A Mukhamadullin, a Dickinson, a guy where you hope that they learn from it and they stop making these. But definitely, aside from the defense, like, I do think the Sharks played a lot better tonight. The PK continues to be strong. Right, we've seen it really flip the switch over the last couple of weeks here. As part of the Sharks have been winning more games. The PK has been a lot better. They were good tonight, and the Sharks power play, you saw more signs of it tonight. And again, they got the goal off a ridiculous Macklin Celebrini pass to Wennberg. And Celebrini was great tonight as well. Him and Smith continue to be just massively positive for the Sharks most nights, right? And there was a pass that Celebrini made in the first period. It's off the rush, and he kind of lifts his foot and kind of flips it back to his right, which I think actually was Smith there, which then leads to another pat. It's what this kid is doing is not normal, just ridiculously not normal. So overall, though, yes, they lost tonight, but I think this is a building block type of game. And I think they're going to start to see more positive results here sooner rather than later. So let's continue to dig into the numbers of this game. We'll talk about every player, all the lines, how everybody did, as in the third line, which I said in the preview, I think is needs to have a big night. They played well, just again weren't rewarded for the results. We'll talk about the new third line here in just 1 second. When I'm hydrated, everything just works better. My focus, energy, mood, even my skin. That's why I've been using Drip Drop. It's doctor-developed hydration that keeps me running at full power no matter what my day looks like. Drip Drop isn't your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading brands, using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of top college and pro teams. Great thing about Drip Drop, it actually tastes great. My go-to flavor, I like the cherry and I like the fruit punch. They become my secret weapon for staying sharp and energized through long days. Hydration has become a non-negotiable for me. Drip Drop helps me feel sharper, calmer, and honestly just better overall. Right now, Drip Drop is offering podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL. That's dripdrop.com, promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 20% off. Stock up now before the heat hits and keep your body and mind performing at their best with Drip Drop. And with the Sharks coming back home, maybe you want to grab some tickets for games at the Tank. But we know getting tickets can be a hassle sometimes, right? Between waiting in queues, surprise fees, and prices that jump right before checkout. It's easy to get frustrated when all you want to do is cheer on your team. That's where Game Time comes in. The app that gives fans the advantage. It's your ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NHL tickets fast and stress-free. We use Game Time to get tickets. We always go to a game right around the holidays. It's a family tradition. We use it to get tickets for an upcoming Sharks game. The zone deals they have is a total game changer. You pick the section, Game Time picks your seats, and you save big. You can even find NHL tickets for under $25. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. All right. Before we finish up, of course, want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. When you're done with this episode, go check out the Locked On NHL Game Night. They cover every game, every night until a Stanley Cup champion is crowned. You get local analysis on a national scale. Find NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, let's dig into the numbers of this game. As the Sharks, again, they played well, just didn't get the results. So we had about 46 minutes of 5-on-5 time. Shot attempts for 60 to 38 in favor of the Sharks, 61.22 to 38.78 Corsi for. Actual shots at 5-on-5 was 20 to 20. The Sharks did outshoot the Kraken, but they had 6 power plays that really kind of boosted them there. 23 to 18 scoring chances, 8 to 7 high danger chances, all in favor of San Jose. 2.02 to 1.75 expected goals for in favor of San Jose. So again, they did a lot of positive things tonight, and they just were not rewarded. And I think you can point to, when Grubauer came in, which as weird as it sounds, like Grubauer, who has been awful as of late, he came in and he had a great night tonight, right? He had 19 saves on 19 shots and had expected goals against of 203 in all situations, and he gave up a big fat 0. So, for some reason, he just came in. Maybe he just needs to be like a reliever, just coming in to shut things down for the Kraken. That might be revolutionary what the Kraken do here. So, but as for the forward lines, so tonight, Smith, Celebrini, and Kurashev played 10-36, 18 to 10 shot attempts, 5 to 7 actual shots, 0 goals for, 2 allowed, 0.74 to 0.6 expected goals for, 12 to 5 scoring chances, 5 to 2 high danger chances for this line. Right. I think that's the frustrating part is this line played really well tonight, right? Kurashev has a double post. Will Smith has a goal called back. This line did, 12 high danger chances from this line, 12 scoring chances, 5 high danger chances, just snake bit basically for this line tonight. So I think if Celebrini and Smith continue to do this, you're going to see that number turn around. So not worried. I think this line played really well tonight. Echoed Wennberg graph, and you could argue Wennberg was the best player for the Sharks tonight. 10-31, 10 to 6 shot attempts, 2 to 2 actual shots, 0.31 to 0.19 expected goals for, 3 to 3 scoring chances, 2 to 1 high danger chances for this line. Right, this line continues to play well. Colin Graf, and I think continues to play well. Eklund, I thought, had another really good game. Like I said, I think Wennberg could have been the Sharks' best player, or you could argue was the Sharks' best player tonight, right? He was all over the ice, and he was doing a really great job of driving the puck to the net. So, yeah, good line from this line. Toffoli, Dellandrea, Gaudette played 10-04, 18 to 5 shot attempts, 7 to 2 actual shots, 0 goals for, gave up a goal, 0.57 to 0.16 expected goals for, 5 to 3 scoring chances, 1 to 1 high danger chances. This line was again great tonight. Or not again. This line was great tonight and that was a big question, right? With Toffoli dropping down to the third line, with Jeff Skinner, who's going to be out for, it sounds like it's going to be out for a little while. Like who can help replace some of the scoring potential? And Toffoli, also a professional goal scorer. Again, this line didn't score tonight, but they control pace and they did a lot of positive things. And Gaudette almost scored. Toffoli has a couple good chances. And Dellandrea, who's been playing really well, is kind of that connector. He had a couple opportunities as well. If this third line can pick up the slack here as the Sharks kind of look for some more secondary scoring, I think this Toffoli, Dellandrea, Gaudette combo can do that for San Jose. And if you start getting some points from this line, you're going to start to get some wins. So, and then we had Goodrow, Ostapchuk, and Ryan Reeves, 731, 6 to 6 shot attempts, 1 to 4 actual shots, 0.03 to 0.42 expected goals for, 2 to 3 scoring chances, 0 to 2 high danger chances. Goodrow, like that penalty called on Goodrow was bogus, man. Like just bogus there. He gets, a little bit of he gets a stick up there, but then like the Kraken forward, who was it? Sorry. I'm trying to pull it up right now. Riker Evans, defenseman. He just like holds on to it and just doesn't let Goodrow get his stick back. Like Goodrow was pissed off, like you could tell. But luckily nothing happened from it. So Reeves drew a penalty tonight, and Ostapchuk was skating around doing stuff as well. So the defensive pairs, since the Sharks controlled the game so much, like the defensive Corsi pairs are all really solid. Orlov Klingberg, 73.33% Corsi 4, Letty Desharnais, 66.67%, and then Ferraro Mukhamadullin, 61.11%. So I thought, out of everybody, I actually liked Ferraro's game the most tonight. I thought he was subtle tonight, which I think is when Mario Ferraro is at his best. But, again, we just spent the whole first segment talking about how the defensive game really screwed the Sharks tonight. So as for Alex Nedeljkovic, making his return, 17 saves on 20 shots. That's 5-on-5. My bad. 20 saves on 23 shots, 3 goals allowed, 2 goals expected a lot from him, 870 save percentage, 4 or 5 high danger saves, 6 of 7 mid danger, and 8 of 9 low danger. I thought overall, though, he played pretty well tonight, and especially not having played for a little bit with dealing with whatever, his family emergency or whatever it was. But, tonight was the first night that a Sharks goalie has given up more than 1 goal since you go back to the Detroit game, on, I think that was the 2nd or 3rd or whatever it was this month. It has been like that November 2nd. That speaks to how great the goaltending has been, where you've given up 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I know that Calgary scored 2 goals, but one of those was an empty netter. Askarov has been out of his mind. So, I think it's just like, I think he was solid tonight. If he plays the way he plays tonight, the Sharks should be in a lot of games. And I think this is more realistic of what we should expect for Sharks goaltending is performances like we saw tonight from Nedeljkovic. So overall, I think frustrating game, a game but a building block game where I think if the Sharks continue to play the way that they did tonight, minus the defensive miscues, they're going to be in a lot of games, and they're going to probably start to continue to steal / win some of these games here, and get some more, get the puck luck back in their favor here. So, but we'll be back on Sunday night, Monday, where we'll kind of talk about what we learned over the last week. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts, and of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Until Sunday night, bye, friends.